Hello folks, and welcome aboard the Zooliner. This is one of 3 passenger trains here on the Washington Park and Zoo Railway. It's a scale replica of the famous General Motors Aero train of the 1950s. When the Zoo Railway was under construction in the 1950s, zoo officials reached out to school children in Portland, asking them to choose the design for the train to run on the Zoo Railway, and they chose the Aero train. It went into service here at the zoo in June of 1958. You are riding on a 30-inch narrow gauge railroad, meaning that there are only 30 inches between the rails. Rails for a standard gauge railroad are 56.5 inches apart. In fact, all of our cars and locomotives are just over half the size of a normal standard train.
Folks, just a reminder, we do need all of the heads, hands, and arms kept completely inside the train, please.
On the right side of the train, you can see the north habitat of Elephant Lands, the Oregon Zoo's new elephant habitat. Elephant Lands, completed in December of 2015, is one of the zoo improvements made possible by a bond supported by our community. The habitat was designed to provide our elephant herd with interesting activities and lots of choices all day long. Elephant Lands features 6 acres of rolling terrain, plus pools and mud wallows. The entire habitat is blanketed in sand to keep the elephant's feet healthy. Just over the rise, there is a 160,000-gallon elephant-sized swimming pool that provides our herd with hours of family fun and exercise. You can also visit the elephants in Forest Hall, one of the largest indoor elephant facilities in the world. Below ground, we've installed giant coils, part of a heat exchange system. When we complete the new polar bear habitat in 2019, it will draw warm air away from the polar bears and use it to warm the elephants. This system will keep our animals comfortable while saving a lot of energy. It's one of the many ways the Oregon Zoo is becoming more sustainable. The new steel trestle that we are about to cross was built on the site of a wooden trestle that was part of the original track plan when the zoo was being designed in the mid-1950s. The wooden trestle was completed in 1962. The trestle was used as part of the train ride for only a few years until about 1968, when train operations were changed in such a way that operation over the trestle was no longer practical. For a short while thereafter, it was used as a storage track, and then the rails were pulled up and the trestle abandoned. The old wooden structure continued to stand here in the woods, slowly decaying, until it was torn down a couple of years ago to make way for this new steel structure. The new steel trestle allows us to turn the train around during times when we are unable to use our Washington Park track. The Washington Park line is currently out of service due to some needed repair work. We hope to get that taken care of, but there's no definitive timeline for that as yet. This new trestle is also used in our annual Zoo Lights event. From around Thanksgiving through about New Year's, the area around and below the trestle is heavily decked out in holiday lights, as is the rest of the zoo. Also on the right, near the black poles and under the netting, is the home of our California condors. These highly endangered native birds haven't been seen in the wild in Oregon since the early 1900s. The Oregon Zoo is helping to bring populations of condors back by raising them at a breeding center in Clackamas County. We have 9 pairs of breeding condors, and on average, we raise 5 to 6 chicks per year. Some of these birds now fly over Arizona and California. One day in the future, they may fly again over Oregon. Visit Condors of the Columbia to find out how you can help.
The railroad comes through the middle of the house. The trains all come through the middle of the house. That's the company of the land. They let us live in the front of the house. They let us live in the back. But there ain't no living in the middle of the house, 'cause that's the railroad track. When a bill collector comes to the house, he knocks and bangs on the door. So we set him right down in the middle of the house, and he never comes back no more. No, he never comes back no more. The railroad comes through the middle of the house. The railroad comes through the middle of the house. It comes and goes through the middle of the house, and the trains are all on time. And here comes the 509. Oh, the railroad comes through the middle of the house. In and out of the middle of the house.
Nice to you.
Middle of the house where the car comes through the middle of the house. He comes and goes through the middle.